In the winter of 1958, the Martin family of Portland, Oregon was the heart of their community. Their home on what neighbors called Candy Lane glowed with holiday spirit. Ken Martin, 54, an electrician, played Santa Claus each Christmas, handing out candy canes to children. His wife Barbara, 48, was a warm presence, and together, they raised 4 children: Donald, 28, Barbara Jr., Barbie, 14, Virginia, 13, and Susan, 11. Known for summer talent contests and parades, the Martins were beloved. Yet on December 7, 1958, they vanished, leaving behind a mystery that has haunted Oregon for decades. That Sunday, Ken, Barbara, and their 3 youngest daughters set out for the Columbia River Gorge to gather greenery for Christmas decorations. Ken declined a dinner invitation from relatives, citing prior plans. The family piled into their 1954 cream and red Ford Country Squire station wagon, leaving their Tudor-style home between 1:30 and 2:00 p.m. according to neighbors. They stopped at the Paradise Snack Bar in Hood River, where waitress Clara York served them around 2:00 p.m. later, correcting her initial estimate of 4:00 p.m., as she recalled turning on the parking lot floodlights after their departure. The Martins then filled up at a Cascade Locks gas station. As dusk settled, Kelsey and Doris Knutson spotted a station wagon resembling the Martins parked under the Bridge of the Gods in Cascade Locks. 2 men were seen talking to the occupants inside. It was the last known sighting of the Martin family. When Ken didn't appear at Eccles Electric Home Service Company the next day and the girls were absent from school, concern grew. Ken's boss reported them missing, launching Oregon's largest manhunt to date. Multnomah and Hood River County Police scoured the gorge, searching land and river. Amateur sleuth Donald D. Bain found tire tracks leading to a cliff in the Dalles, with cream-colored paint chips on the rocks below matching the Martins' car. Yet officers Fred Pierce and Ard Pratt deemed the area too dangerous for divers, despite divers like Lou Smith asserting it was safe. Months passed without answers. On May 1, 1959, a drilling rig's anchor caught something heavy in the river near the Dalles, but couldn't retrieve it. The next day, fishermen Ellery and Florence Colby saw 2 bodies floating near Cascade Locks. Dental records confirmed they were Virginia and Susan Martin. Autopsies listed drowning as the cause of death, but a technician reported seeing bullet wounds in their heads, a claim absent from D.R. Waterman's official report. Traces of aluminum and other metals were found on Susan's clothing, and both girls had eaten burgers and fries within 2 hours of death, aligning with Claire York's account. D.R. Waterman received threatening calls warning him against identifying other missing Martins. The girls were cremated, their urns unclaimed until 1969, with no record of who took them. Donald Martin, stationed in New York with the Navy, did not return to aid the search, claiming his Aunt Charlotte advised him to stay, a claim she refuted. He missed his sister's memorial services, citing a scheduling mix-up. As the sole beneficiary of the family's $36,000 estate, roughly $372,000 today, including life insurance and savings, Donald drew suspicion. Detective Walter Graven, tasked with exploring criminal angles, scrutinized Donald. He learned Donald had been fired from Meyer and Frank department store in 1954 for stealing $2,000 in merchandise, confessing due to strained relations with his parents after revealing his homosexuality. In New York, Donald faced theft accusations and was seeing a psychiatrist. When he returned to Oregon in May 1959, he reported missing financial documents from his father's desk. The investigation was tangled with red herrings. A white 1951 Chevrolet stolen by ex-con Lester Kenneth Price was found abandoned in Hood River. A woman's glove nearby didn't belong to Barbara. A black taxi was spotted outside the Martins' home at 7:20 am on December 8, lingering for an hour. The gas receipt, supposedly signed by Ken, was later deemed a forgery. Most chillingly, a .38 automatic pistol, blood-covered, with a spent bullet, was found under a rock near Cascade Locks in January 1959. It matched a gun Donald stole from Meyer and Frank, but was never processed as evidence and was returned clean to its finder. Graven was convinced of murder, but faced resistance. Sheriff Francis Lambert reportedly burned Graven's report, ordering him to drop the case. Graven's notes pointed to Lester Kenneth Price and Richard Allen Hunt, alias Roy Light, ex-convicts seen at the Paradise Snack Bar on December 7th and leaving around the same time as the Martins. They vanished from the area later, surfacing at a Dallasport, Washington brothel owned by Clifford Slim Bennett, who had ties to local police. Another figure emerged: Wayne, Donald's friend from Portland State University. Wayne, engaged at the time and married in spring 1959, knew the Martins well. Graven speculated the killer might be a married man or one soon to be whom Ken intended to expose. Wayne's father was a respected Portland figure, and Wayne was acquainted with Price and Hunt through his teaching role at Cascade Locks High School. Rumors swirled that Barbie might have been pregnant, possibly the motive for the trip. She had visited a doctor in Vancouver, not the family pediatrician, and Clara York recalled Barbara scolding Barbie for wanting burgers, suggesting a tuna sandwich instead. Graven's family later said he believed Barbie's pregnancy was a key factor. In 1969, Donald sent Graven a cryptic Christmas card resembling a ransom note with the French phrase "Et ils sont descendus ons et ils non plus eu peur," and they came down from the hills, and they were no longer afraid. It included a drawing of a young man, 3 children, 2 sheep, and a cliff with one child resembling Susan holding a lamb. Some saw it as a coded message about the family's fate. Donald later settled in Hawaii, married, and had children, rarely speaking of the disappearance. His children have declined to discuss it. Richard Allen Hunt joined the FBI's 10 most wanted list for unrelated crimes, serving time until 1968. Lester Price's fate is unknown. The case lingered in public consciousness, with journalist Ann Sullivan's 1967 article, "What Really Happened to the Martins," reigniting interest. Yet no breakthroughs emerged. Graven, who believed the case could be solved if the station wagon and remaining bodies were found, died in 1988 without answers. The Martin family's disappearance remains one of Oregon's most enduring mysteries, a tale of lost suspicion and unanswered questions that continues to echo through time.